Well, hello everyone. This is Talk to Brazil. Welcome to Talk to Brazil, the world's first English language internet radio program about business in Brazil. I'm Tom Reaoch and your host for the show. When you talk to Tom, you talk to Brazil and the world. Today's guest is Marco Linhares. He's a computer engineer, majoring at the State University of Campinas, Unicamp in Brazil. He's originally from Fortaleza in Ceará, and he'll be with us today talking about his present activity. So Marco, good morning and thanks for being on.
Thank you, Thomas, for the invitation.
I want to lead off because I want our listeners to know that we are colleagues at a venture hub here in Campinas, which is a co-working and an innovation hub for business startups, and that's where I met you. What I'd like you to tell our audience is a little bit about, I'm considering you to be the Brazil bullying specialist, right?
Yeah.
When we met, you shared with me, you created a game called Voix the Game. That's VOIX the game.com. Tell me a little bit about how you came to being interested in bullying and how that all started.
Okay, so it all started when I was a math teacher. So I was a volunteer in my university teaching math to kids that wanted to do vestibular, which is a test you do to enter university, and I was helping them on math. The thing is that when I started teaching math, I saw that there was a deep problem that wasn't being addressed. So what I started developing were classes to think big, and I developed these classes about empowering the students to think big and to go awake their potential. And I think that was the seed that led to eventually to Voix. I had the opportunity to spend 3 weeks in Switzerland studying gender inequality in companies, and also that was the missing link. So I started developing an app for tech companies in Switzerland to hire more women, and was a complete failure because I did this test to understand the employees' behavior about gender diversity, and then I just realized that people in a companies, in a test, they would just tell me what I wanted to know.
I see on your site you show that there are 246 million children and adolescents in the world that suffer some type of bullying, right? Every year.
Sure, yeah.
So obviously it's common everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But not everyone talks about it.
Yeah, so just to finishing, so when I was there, I got this validation that I needed, if I wanted to change people's mind, I need to go to a phase where it's being developed. So when I come back to Brazil, I had the idea of introducing this using a game in schools. So yeah, you said bullying is we have 246 million people that suffer, but it's a silence problem. The only few cases we see are really extreme that go to the media, but most of them, they suffer in silence, and it's really, really sad.
So bullying is in school, but bullying is in everywhere in real life, workplace, everywhere.
Yeah.
But why do you think it's silent? Why don't people speak up?
It's probably because they want to avoid confrontation, and they don't want to involve more people. They think this exposure could damage them even more. I think it's a probably good guess.
And you found that going through the university too, then?
Yeah. So what I was doing is these classes to think big, and then I got together the idea that I was developing in Switzerland, and I mixed them, and then I had the idea for the game.
Now, once you had the idea for the game, basically that's where you decided to start up a company to take this forward, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how is it to start up a company in Brazil? Is it easy?
Well, today in Brazil we have, for people that want to start a startup, it's actually easy because there are many incubators and accelerators in Brazil to help you solve. So they have a program that I participated called Founder Institute. It's an accelerator from Silicon Valley, but they have this program spread all around the world. I think it's more than 106 cities around the world, and they were doing the first program of Founder Institute in Campinas, and then I had the opportunity to start. And Founder Institute, it's based on early stage startups. So you just have to come with an idea, and I had the idea developed. I had the first version of the game, the physical game that interacts with an app, and then that was when I started.
So that's what you presented to the Founders Institute. That was the basis of your start.
Yeah. So what I had, so because the accelerator makes me rethink the business model, and at a time that before I entered, I just had this idea of the game, and my idea was so I'm gonna just sell this game everywhere in the world. But then I realized I had a much bigger problem in my hands, and now what I do, I develop a whole system for the school, not only a game, to fight bullying and develop the social and emotional skills of the students.
What is your age group that you're targeting?
Okay, so we are around 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know in the US what is the range of these schools, but for 8 years and over.
Okay, they would have the sufficient comprehension to be able to play the game.
Yeah, the game is only part of the process. This game, since it's a little bit more complex, is for 12 years and old. But we can start before doing the development of these social and emotional skills.
So through the Founders Institute, that's where you went through the process to learn how to become a startup, how to take your idea forward?
Yes. There's also a big group here in Campinas called Liga Empreendedora, which means Entrepreneurial League. And I was one of the co-founders as well in 2012. And that was when I started to understand what a startup is. And I started with another idea that didn't go very well. And then this was my third startup, Voix.
So what I hear you saying is that when someone has an idea to start up, it's better to be with other people who are starting up, and each one helps each other.
Yeah, sure. For example, the Venture Hub, the environment, the place we are, it's very good because it's very cooperative, and everyone wants to thrive. So everybody, if we are in a place that everybody wants to succeed, I think it's a lot easier because one person can help the other, and also everybody has the same mindset.
Now, in Brazil, people generally help each other in a collaborative co-working environment. Do you find that happening? People sit down and help you?
I think this year is getting every time more common to have co-works for people to work together. So I think it's getting better and better.
And how has that helped you now? What are your next steps? What are you going to do with your game?
So I launched last year in October 2018, and I'm just starting now with the first sales and the schools. So what I'm doing is I'm doing this discipline. We are building this discipline for schools so that they can develop, and we train the teachers. So what we are doing, we are testing the model we developed and creating a course to train these teachers.
So you've had some positive reaction already to your game.
Yeah. So basically, everybody that plays the game and we talk to them, they say, oh, I didn't find that these were cases of bullying, and they are. So it's a physical game that interacts with an app to discuss controversial themes like racism, gender inequality, obesity, cyberbullying in a fun way. Mm-hmm. And they talk about these cases they have to discuss and approve measures. And then that's what I get from feedback.
Also in the bio that you sent me, you mentioned the Singularity University. What is that, and what has happened to help you go forward?
Yeah, so Singularity University, we received the news that we were approved, and it became our biggest challenge and our biggest accomplishment ever since. So Singularity University, 10 years ago, Google and NASA got together to create a university to develop entrepreneurs to solve the biggest problems of humanity and impact 1 billion people. They have different programs. The one that I got through was their top program called Global Startup Program.
Mm-hmm.
In 10 years, there are less than 700 people that participated. And one of them is Mohamed Yunus, that won the Nobel Prize for Peace. It's a very good chance to make our business go global.
Mm-hmm. But how were you accepted there? How was that process?
The process, they want us to send some information about us. They probably check our values, and also the stage of the company, it needs to have some traction, cannot be an idea. And they also check if the problem is one of the biggest world problems. In our case, is education.
So they consider bullying one of the biggest world problems.
How that we can give a quality education. So that's the big theme.
So now you were accepted. What will you do? What are your next steps with that?
So when I got accepted, I didn't have money because the program is expensive, $30,000 for the whole 1 year program. And I started a crowdfunding campaign to help with these costs.
And that worked out.
Actually, it didn't work. The campaign is still open, but I got a lot of help from the community in Campinas. So you talked before and how others could help me. And I got a lot of buzz from people trying to help me, sharing the link of the campaign, giving some news that I got on journals around. So it was really good, and I'm still trying to get the money from companies. I give some stuff in feedback.
Well, you've been accepted though. You're going, right?
Yeah. I was able to sell my car. The first thing when I got the news, okay, the first thing is let me sell the biggest thing I have was my car, and I got the first part of the money, and then I got some part with a school. And I got in debt, and I got the money received from a loan, and I paid. Now I'm just trying to recover back this money with the campaign.
And when do you leave? When do you go?
So the program starts in April, so less than a month now.
Okay.
And I go to Copenhagen. This is the first part of the program.
Mm-hmm. How long will you be there?
I spend 1 month there, and this Copenhagen phase is the more the learning stuff that we go through their 10x methodology. That is, how can I give 10 times more impact, targeting at 1 billion people. And then I come back to Brazil for a month, less than a month actually, and then I fly to Silicon Valley at NASA Research Center, which is the acceleration part of the program.
And how long will you be there?
So the whole program is 1 year. I spend one month in Copenhagen and then 1 month in NASA. And then I come back and I work with them online.
Good. Well, you have your year cut out for you, so you have a lot to do.
Yeah, a lot to do.
I'm sure you're excited, though, because like you said, it's not everyone who's accepted. It is a challenge, but it's also a great award for you and your idea, and certainly for one of the biggest problems in the world, not only in schools, but in the workplace. And hopefully you'll be able to help people understand and find a better way around bullying.
Our vision is to be the biggest social empowerment community in the planet, and Singularity is a good chance that we can spread the word of Voix globally. Actually, Voix means voice in French, voix, and that's what we want to do. We want to give voice to people that suffer discrimination so that these cases doesn't repeat. And Singularity University is a good chance to accelerate this process.
Well, very good, Marco. I want to thank you for being part of our program today. And as you mentioned, you will be going to Copenhagen. And what I will want to do is to schedule another interview with you while you are in Copenhagen. And here at Talk to Brazil, we will certainly be following your progression and also help our audience understand not only what the program about bullying is, but what is the process through the Singularity University and how it is to be a co-worker and a collaborator in other parts of the world. How's that?
Ah, that looks great.
So we will be back to you. I want to thank you again for being part of the program today. And I would also like to invite all of our guests to visit our website, which is Talk to Brazil. That's TALK, the number two, BRAZIL.com. And there you'll find links to all of the sites that we have talked about regarding Marcos. You will find your way back to him. Okay? So thanks again for being part of our show, and we'll have you back again next week.
Thank you, Thomas, for this opportunity to spread the word about Voix.